Hi guys, strange things are happening with semen retention. Guys, I want to tell you that many of you expect major changes in your appearance, a transformation in your gaze, and a glow in your eyes from practicing semen retention, and you are all waiting for this. And you are hoping to become attractive to the opposite sex, and that women will start pursuing you. Understand something simple. You don't even realize what you are getting into. If you want to be successful with women, no FAP is sufficient. Just avoid pornography, erotica, and manual stimulation. Focus on your career, work on physical development, dress stylishly, improve your understanding of the manipulations women use. Study female psychology. This will make it easier for you to understand their language and consequently be more successful with women. Guys, semen retention is a little bit different. It's more of an internal state, a lifestyle. It's more about working with your inner energies than achieving external results or success with women. Semen retention is a dive into your inner self. You constantly make plans in your head, believing that you will achieve something and become happy. You think that by practicing semen retention you will become more attractive and garner more female attention. In essence, you are picturing a bright future inside of you and think you need to strain yourself for the sake of this future. But here lies the mistake in your expectations. Semen retention is about the present moment, living in the here and now. You should find satisfaction in the current state. If you have ambitions to achieve something, you can do that currently. However, you need to learn to live in the moment and find joy in what you have now, discovering fulfillment within yourself. This means living with an inner world. Odd things will happen to you when you practice semen retention. For instance, you'll experience a different perception of time. When you see time standing still inside you, while it rapidly changes in the outer world. Just a moment passes within, and outside everything has drastically changed. Where there was a field, there is now a new district. Life rapidly evolves. Some have died, some have been born. Yesterday's best friends are today's worst enemies. The bakery around the corner has turned into a pharmacy. A house stood here, and now it's a parking lot for cars. And the national scene is constantly changing. People constantly divide spheres of influence and kill each other. Everything around changes, yet you feel unchanged inside, as if in nirvana, in a trance. For example, I meet my classmates with whom I studied in school or elsewhere. I see how quickly the time has passed since we last met, but for me it feels like it was just yesterday, even though a significant amount of time has passed, and much has changed since that time. And I feel as if it were just yesterday, like we only parted ways yesterday. Do you catch my idea? Something kinda... Time goes by, people age, and you look at those girls who were attractive to you just a short while ago, but now they are mothers with grown children. You look at them and can't recognize these people because their appearance has changed. Your own appearance will change in 5-10 years. In 20 years you will be unrecognizable, but you don't notice it. Something kinda... Our bodies change completely every 7 years, with a complete renewal of our cellular composition. It's an internal reincarnation. You are not just reincarnating from one body into another, you are also reincarnating within your own body, and it constantly changes. In 7 years you will have a completely different body due to metabolic processes and continuous cell renewal. When you practice abstinence, it's like you are stopping time inside you. Time stands still, and when you retain semen, you reach spiritual dimensions where there is no time. During semen retention, you exist outside of time, and you can see how quickly time flows in the external world, how events rapidly unfold. Spiritual realms open within you, and you start living through internal states. Semen retention is a comprehensive work with these internal states, and it is above all an internal state. Our seed transforms into ojas when retained, and inner substance achieves through the accumulation of sexual energy. Semen retention is about the state of your consciousness, transforming it from temporary values to eternal ones. With semen retention comes the ability to concentrate, the ability to meditate, Because when you don't retain, your senses are directed outward, making it hard to focus on your inner self. But with semen retention, you restrain your senses from external objects. When you redirect your senses inward, there is an ability to focus on internal, eternal values. Ordinary people pursue external values. Many exhaust themselves trying to reach their goals, but the matrix devalues their efforts. When they achieve something, it turns against them. They work hard all their life to attain material comfort and well-being, but comfort and happiness elude them. Every time you think, now I'll live happily, something happens and you are thrown back. And you kind of realize that fate has allocated just as much happiness and comfort as you are meant to have, no more, no less. The rest is just wasted effort trying to change your position while time is irretrievably lost in this rat race, back and forth. The illusion distracts your attention towards achieving false goals, and all because you could not control that itch in the perineum. Semen retention is a kind of long game. You should enjoy the process. Our consciousness is filled with lust, and it's extremely difficult to retain semen surrounded by temptations and sexual objects. In the beginning stages, when your sexual desires are very strong, no FAP is there to help you. If you want to achieve more substantial things, working with your internal states and changing your inequalities, this is where semen retention practice comes in. Something thought you should find joy in this. It should be your lifestyle. Semen retention is, first and foremost, about working with consciousness. You constantly need to work on your consciousness. An important factor to always remember is that sexual desire initially seems like a honey, then it turns into poison. At first you enjoy it, and then you face problems. How does this happen? At first you meet a woman and like talking to her, and that's not always the case. The most of modern women are toxic from the very start. I'm talking about relatively good scenarios if you are lucky enough to meet a somewhat decent girl. So you enjoy talking to her, everything is great, you view the world through the rose-colored glasses, everything seems sweet as honey. But then, as feelings become more saturated, you experience burnout and disillusionment, and you start to see how you are being exploited. They milk you, stealing your energy, your resources. I'm not saying that all women are bad and men are good. No, I'm presenting one side. Also, it works both ways. Women have their own truths and grievances, but generally, sex is honey in the beginning and poison in the end. In a development, restraint initially seems like a poison, but later it becomes honey. At first you practice abstinence and it's unpleasant. You feel like you're depriving yourself of certain pleasures. But then when you find the source of energy within yourself, it turns into honey. Because you see how many benefits you get from this practice. You feel an inner freedom and a source of pleasure within you. Guys, it's like a nuclear reactor inside of you. For example, a diesel submarine has to surface regularly to charge its batteries, which give it the ability to move underwater. It can't stay submerged for long, therefore when it surfaces, it gets detected and destroyed. But a nuclear submarine can remain underwater for a very long time, practically never surfacing. It leaves the harbor, dives, disappears from all radars, travels to other end of the earth, and nobody knows where it is. Because it has a nuclear reactor that provides an inexhaustible supply of energy. It's essentially an autonomous city under the water, where people live for months without women, the outside world, YouTube, the internet, or sunlight. Sailors who don't see the sea, they stay under the water for the prolonged period. They have gyms and libraries, kitchens and recreation areas, and all of that is powered by the reactor. Similarly, semen retention is your reactor inside of you. It's kinda dive into the inner world, staying submerged out of external world influence. So guys, semen retention is the long game. Sometimes you'll stray from this practice and then return to it. Some of you will retain until you find a worthy wife, and others will go all the way until the spiritual realms open in their consciousness. Either way, it gives you inner strength and brings benefits. So, that's about it. That's what I wanted to share with you today. All the best, good luck, thank God, bye.